Welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. My name is Serhii, and today we got a boatload of topics on today's schedule, starting in the absolutely bore fest of a card this past weekend in the UFC Apex Center. Not even much to say. Hopefully Josh and I can just crack a few jokes and move on to what was the best fight of Saturday night. Vergil Ortiz put on a war with Serhii, and of course, leaving the fight, people are claiming controversy, robbery. The wrong guy got his hand raised. We'll talk about the biggest moment of this coming weekend. Israel Adesanya is getting his chance to beat the current champ in a massive grudge match. That is Dracus du Plessis, and a fun card over there in Perth. And then to close the show, we'll talk a little bit about that Craig Jones Jiu-Jitsu Invitational. Nonetheless, let me bring in my co-host, my brethren, my guy, Joshy Leach.
Yo, what's up, gang?
How we doing, champ?
Excellent, brother. Excellent. It's Izzy fight week, man. This is what we do the pod for. You know, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters.
Is that how you feel?
The Israel Adesanya podcast.
Is that your sole purpose of doing the pod, to run it up? Izzy fight week?
It's Izzy fight week. What else can I say? What else can I say?
Exciting time, especially like redeeming his title. It's a lot of anticipation. We'll get into that. But before then, any thoughts on this weekend's UFC Apex card?
What a stinker this was. This was so boring. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't have anything crazy to say about this. I just, it was one of those weeks. We say it all the time. It's like you have to have the stinker weeks. Just some filler. Honestly, we talked about this before. I was like, man, I would rather have like just really good UFC events than to have like really bad weekends where it's like fights we don't really care about going on. Like all these guys could have just been on really good cards, like as prelims or early prelims. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why put such boring fights on for? I don't know. I just don't understand that.
So you think it makes it provides more value to us who as fans to do the quality over quantity for like UFC?
100%.
Yeah, I kind of agree. But then it's like they have over 1,000 fighters on their roster. You got to do something for everybody. You can't just only limit to big cards with your biggest names, unless you do like 25 fights. But even that seems kind of crazy in one night.
Yeah, I mean, 20. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
it's just a longer event.
Yeah,
these events are already long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what's a couple extra fighters on there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I come from the same field of thought, but then it's like, yeah, it's crazy how bad that card was. That I asked you for your thoughts, and we instantly started having a discussion about a theory. You know what I'm saying? What a shitty card. Not one performance was stand out to me either. I mean, the main event, I guess if we had to highlight something, Serhii, that was the boxing. I mean, Sergey pulled out armbar from his back, which we don't see all the time with those big heavy guys, which was kind of cool. But yeah, poopy, stinky, dinky in the Apex Center. All right. Vergil Ortiz, bro. Goddamn, what a war that was. What'd you think?
Yeah, this was not the fight I was expecting. I knew it would be an exciting fight. I thought Vergil would figure him out. Like I said in the last fight, they'd figure him out, get the timing down and really start ripping those body shots and start to put this guy out. But this guy wasn't going away. Like, Vergil was tearing his body apart. Pause on that. Vergil was tearing his body apart, the body shots. And for some reason, he just wanted to stay in there in the pocket and just fight him the whole night like that. It was just kind of odd to me. It's not usually his style, but, when these guys are in the moment and they're having an exciting fight, the adrenaline's kicking in, they'll put on a good show. But, yeah, I knew this is how the other guy fought. Excuse me, I always pronounce his name wrong, but if you could help me out.
Serhii?
Sergey. There's no G in there.
It's no G.
Serhii Bohachuk.
Yeah.
Bohachuk.
Bohachuk. Yeah.
Mr. Bohachuk, I knew this was his fighting style, and I was a little bewitched by, the decision making of Vergil in this fight. I felt like he could have fought this guy on the outside very easily. He's got a long enough jab. He's got a powerful enough body shot. He can rip him apart from the outside, but he was just staying in there the whole night.
Yeah,
Eating those shots. And it made for an entertaining fight, which I thought it was good, but he ate a lot of damage that fight.
Yeah. But also, like, he was putting out a lot of, like,
yeah.
He was doing his fair share of damage. He put on a lot of output, fought off his
Chuck.
back foot. Yeah, it was, and like arguably dropped him. What'd you think of those like weird off balance?
That was
yeah. I agree, but it just was like weird timing with the shot landing like in the same motion. It wasn't a shot that hurt him or stumbled him. It just was horrible timing if you're Vergil Ortiz.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing on his shots were crippling, I feel like.
Yeah.
And you could say the same for Chuck. Like Chuck was ripping some heavy shots on Vergil, and he was standing right in front of him. Is this the fight where you thought the wrong hand was raised?
Personally,
you thought Chuck won?
Personally, I thought Vergil won.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought Vergil won. I thought the right guy won, but like people on Bohachuk's side is like appalled by the decision and like claiming that he dropped Vergil twice, and it's clear that if you drop somebody twice, put on more output, definitely land more damaging blows. Vergil Ortiz was all cut up. That was a whole argument I seen a lot of people putting up online. But to all those people, my counter argument is if you watch the fucking fight, just watch it. If you've seen those knockdowns,
they were
those knockdowns, if you've seen them, then like it was clear that it wasn't anything. It wasn't no momentum. It wasn't no damaging blows. Yeah, Vergil was cut. These guys went 12 rounds of boxing. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I don't always agree with the whole like if I get cut up more, I automatically lose. I don't agree with that whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, usually visual is like a telltale sign of who won a fight. Usually, but then sometimes some shots just hit a little bit harder and sometimes some shots cut. It happens. Like that I don't really go off of that.
Prevalent a cut. Some guys just have a little more, a little extra skin or scar tissue,
Look at any Nate Diaz fight. This guy is like fucking fly. Nate Diaz fights are all like this guy's getting what the fuck, dude? There's like this fucking fly.
Damn, you kind of quick. That jab. What's that jab looking like these days?
Yeah, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. You don't want to see me. Nah, but yeah, I mean, good point to that too. It's the face usually isn't the visual damage is one part of it for sure. Like I can't lie and say that the judges don't look at that as well. Like holy shit, this guy looks fucking bad shape. But I feel like judges are pretty good sometimes with not being persuaded too much by the visual damage. So I thought the right man got his hand raised. Vergil fought a good fight. Good opponent under his belt too. A nice, tough Ukrainian fighter. I feel like when everybody gets their first Ukrainian fighter, it's pretty humbling for them, and they put on a good performance. So good job on Chuck too. No harm, foul, in that. And losing to a guy like Vergil, obviously, he fought a good fight, made it a close fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, the first guy to ever take Vergil to the final belt.
12 rounds.
Nobody's ever done that, and. Now to give some credit to Vergil, now gaining an interim title in a different weight class, now making him an option for a world champion, making him like next. But then you think about like who's world champion right now. It's like you got Fundora.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got Fundora. There's Charlo. There's like a few other guys in the mix who would make for fun fights. I love it all, bro. I can't wait to see how Vergil like climbs the rankings.
Yeah.
But also, like a rematch isn't out of question because I'd like to see if they ran it back. I think would make for another exciting fight.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
You ready to talk about Izzy, aren't you?
Ready to talk about Izzy.
I know you are, bro. Go ahead. Let's hear it, brother.
Oh man, this is like fucking heaven for me, man. Like finally we get this fight. How many years we've been waiting for this fight? The amount of shit talk these guys have had over the years, man. And it's finally happening, man. Two African champions, I should say. Forgot my little quotes. I mean, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Man, this is exciting, man. For a lot of reasons, I feel like. The history these guys have, for one, is pretty serious. I like to have you in the picture too, man. I like to see your reactions when I talk. Yeah, it's just better. It's way better. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of reasons, this is an exciting fight. These two have had a lot of history together. A lot of beef. Who's the real African champion of the UFC, and a lot of times it kind of feels a little silly, like this kind of feud they have. But I don't know, for some reason it hits a little different now, just knowing that Izzy's not the champion.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to him being the champion, because it's like, okay, there's a lot on the line here for both men. But, for Izzy, it's just like, I don't know. I get that feeling again, like when he was, just climbing the rankings and he was looking to fight, Rob Whittaker and get that belt for the first time. And this kind of feels like I get that feeling back. Like, Izzy's past fights, I'll say his past 2-3 fights, they weren't like always, the best we've seen of Israel Adesanya. Of course, when he knocked out Poatan, that was obviously, electric fight. But, before that too, he hasn't had like the best title fights, but this is it for me, man. Like this feels like what it felt like when he was fighting Rob Whittaker again. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but just seeing him, reclaim gold again against like somebody he genuinely hates, and somebody who's like genuinely African is like, it feels like, the Aussies were fighting again, or the New Zealanders are fighting again for the title. Like this is like, who's the king? It feels like that. So it's awesome to kind of have that feeling again, especially on a stage where there's gold involved too. So that always feels nice, and I'm happy that it kind of unfolded in the way it did, because Dricus was like a guy who shouldn't even be champion. Like I feel like he just really.
Why?
No,
Why do you say that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it always seemed like he was so close to getting a title, but then it's just like, dude, this guy's like, the guys he's fighting, I was always like, dude, there's no way he's gonna get past this guy. Like,
yeah.
And then he does it, and then he did it. So then I was just like, fuck, like,
yeah,
we're actually gonna get this fight one day.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel that, but I feel like they built Dricus really well. Like they ramped him up in competition awesomely. Like he fought Till.
It was.
And then he fought Robert Whittaker, and then it was like, all right, this guy's definitely fighting for the belt. And like timing worked out where Izzy had just lost the championship to a Strickland. And my biggest issue with that was why didn't they just run it back with Izzy? Like why don't you give a champion who's been that dominant for so long a rematch? Why wasn't that the move?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they've done it for so many years now.
Done what?
And what's that?
Done what?
No, I was just saying, I feel like they've given Izzy, opportunities to get back in there. And I feel like he kind of stepped back on this one a little bit to give Dricus a chance to get that gold. Because Izzy did say, like, he's done with the belts now. Like, he's made history in the middleweights already. Like, there's nothing more he needs to do really in the middleweights, in my opinion as well. I agree with that statement that he made. There really isn't much more that he did. Like, when you look at his resume, like, he's got Costa, he's got Rob twice.
Yeah.
He's got to get back at Sean for sure. He's going to get Dricus. Like, he's done Yoel, even though it was a boring fight. But it's like, dude, he's done all the goats at middleweight. So it's like, now this is like, he's just fighting a fight, and so that's what I love a lot. Like this new Izzy that, he's kind of rebranding himself as, he's not going for the gold anymore. He's like, dude, I just want everybody in there. Sorry, I failed to mention Alex too. You got Alex as well, so which nobody's done in the UFC.
Yeah.
Nobody's done in the UFC so far. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this plays out. I think we know where I'm going and how I think this plays out. But I'm excited for a good fight. It's going to be antics all week. We're recording this on a Monday, so this podcast will be out before any press fight. What's that stuff they do, the behind the scenes stuff. So this is before any of that.
The embedded.
But I'm excited. Nonetheless, I'm excited, man. Like this is a legendary fight. This is going down in the history for middleweights. Like two real African champions that are just feuding and they genuinely hate each other. And like this is what it's all about. Like this feels like a real UFC title fight. Like most of these other ones don't. This really genuinely feels like one. And so I'm excited. I'm ready to talk about predictions, unless you've got more.
Yeah, no, I love that there's bad blood in it. I kind of like that whole aspect. I think that makes for a way more entertaining fight. It is definitely interesting that 2 years ago we thought this fight would happen, but Izzy would be champion.
Yeah.
And now fast forward, that's definitely not the case. It's crazy. But you know what they say, champions get 30% better, or fighters get 30% better once they become champion. Does that happen for Drakus? We'll find out. Another big question I have before we talk about predictions is, I feel like this is the first time in Izzy's UFC run where he's had an extensive time off, where he's had the ability to like just chill, relax, train, gain weight, whatever you want to do for like, take time and then return. And I'm excited to see if that version of him looks like, and I can't help but believe it will be improved. But with that being said, let's talk predictions, bro. I know where you're going, so I know you're going to keep it brief and short, but let me hear who you got in this middleweight banger of a title fight.
For the short answer, I'm going Izzy. Honestly, I think, all in all, I think Izzy is the better and more complete mixed martial artist. I mean, everybody knows that. Nobody's denying that. I don't think anybody's looking at Drick's game and thinking that he is the better fighter. I think that the difference between Drickus is he's just a little bit more like, I don't know. I feel like he's a little bit more careless, and that's dangerous in a fighter when they're careless, because they can kind of do crazy things in the octagon. We've seen a lot of crazy fighters in there that just kind of have like a fuck it mindset, and Drickus is kind of like that in a way. But I also think he's very intelligent, with when he gets in certain moments, like, the grappling, he's very intelligent. He's very intelligent with the wrestling. But honestly, man, it's when it all comes down to it, like, Izzy has fought everything. Like, Izzy has been in there with everybody, man. And Izzy has a way of making people fight the fight that he wants to fight. He does it every single time. I can't say that for the Sean Strickland fight. That was Sean Strickland in his element the entire time. And Izzy was making a lot of mistakes with, the laziness and kind of not circling the octagon enough and not pressuring, Sean Strickland enough. There was a lot of mistakes I feel like he made in there that wasn't typical, and very practical in his approach to that fight. But nonetheless, I think Izzy overall is just one of the best, man, at making people fight his fight. And I don't see it going any different, man, with DDP style. Like, he's just very careless. He's fucking crazy. Like, Izzy, honestly, I see this as a really easy fight for Izzy. As much as I've seen it 2 years ago, I still see it as an easy fight for him, which is crazy because Drickus has a lot on his resume now, and he's beaten a lot of guys. Some of them I don't think he won, but some of them I think he got lucky. But I think Izzy is just 10 steps ahead of this guy in every facet. He's fought in the wrestlers. He's, honestly, the Gastelum fight is just like peak for me. Like, that was like the best possible like wrestle I think Izzy has fought in or could possibly fight at this level. And that was an interim fight like 3 years ago. Like, to think how long ago that fight was, or 3-4 years ago, to think how long ago that fight was. And, Izzy has continued to fight more and more wrestlers and has completely dismantled their game. So I don't see any difference in how he does that to Dricus on Saturday. I'm going to be honest. I wish it was more I could say about Dricus that would make this more exciting of a prediction, but honestly, I don't see what Dricus can really do that Izzy hasn't seen already. Like, Izzy has already been there with Marvin too, is like another great middleweight that is heavy with the wrestling. And we've seen Izzy in rear naked chokes against Marvin where he slipped out, and we've seen Izzy on the fence with Marvin where he slipped out of there. And, you know, we've seen Izzy circle the cage against these wrestlers and knock them out like he's done with Paulo Costa. So, honestly, he's seen everything there is to see, man. Like, this is veteranship at its finest, and this is DDP's first time he's faced somebody like this. And he's gonna have to do it for 5 rounds. And we know DDP is just not that good for 5 rounds. Like, his cardio is just not the best, man.
Yeah, I mean, he did it against Strickland.
He did. Fair enough, he did. But also, it's Strickland.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, but Strickland, you could make an argument, has a more of a pace than Izzy would present.
I mean, yes and no, because I mean, like, Strickland doesn't really move around too much. He's a very lateral fighter. Izzy is all over the octagon. Izzy is constantly moving forward, backward, side to side. So it's a lot more expended cardio, you could say, with Izzy, but I would say that the pressure from Strickland is way more than what Izzy typically puts out. But then Dricus has the wrestling, so it's like that slowed down Sean tremendously. You know what I mean? So, but I think with everything I said there, like, it's a lot for DDP, man. Like, let's be real. This is a lot of pressure. This is a very different fighter, somebody he's never encountered before. There's nobody I can put on his resume that he's seen that is even relatively similar to Israel. So it's gonna be a tough night for him, man. But I think you know where I'm going, man. Like, I'm pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was
like, I'm going Hasbulla, by knockout. Like, he's gonna take Dricus out with the head kick, and he's gonna end up champion. He's gonna end up middleweight champion. So,
amen.
Nah. I'm going Izzy. I'm going Izzy KO. I think the KO's coming. Dricus doesn't have the best chin. He's flimsy. The cardio's gonna give in, and then that chin is just gonna get weak. And I'm thinking maybe like a second, third round and beyond. Second, third.
Yeah, isn't that what you hoping?
Isn't that what I'm hoping? I know it's happening.
Third round?
I know it's happening. Second or third. Second or
third. Fair. Izzy is a sniper. I mean, all right. Now my turn?
It's your turn, yeah.
Yeah. You made a long story long, but you made all the right points, bro. The only... Yeah. I hate to agree because, like, that was all Izzy for, like, 10 minutes. That was all Izzy. But I agree. I think that, like, stylistical matchup here, DDP just plays into Izzy 100%. Izzy can stay 100%. On that back leg and just be a sniper the whole time. And then eventually he's going to catch him with some shit that's going to put him out. I would absolutely love, what would make me an Izzy fan is if he throws up like a jumping triangle. Like, if he does some submission,
stop it.
That's all he needs. I think that's all he needs on his
get the fuck out of here.
His plethora of awesome moments. All he needs to, like, complete the list is like a sweet submission.
A fucking jumping triangle.
Bro, I seen a video.
185-pound diesel fucking truck.
Yeah, but is he good, bro? Izzy got them long legs, bro.
All right.
Imagine how fun that. Imagine that, bro. Imagine he does that shit. I would be a fan. I would consider myself. I would do what you did.
You're not a fan
ago. I mean, like, you can't help but be a fan. Like, he's done insane things the past decade in the sport. But, like, I'm not an Izzy. Like, yeah, I'm not one of you.
What does that mean? I'm not one of you. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not one of you.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Izzy's
Whatever.
awesome, bro. That guy's the greatest,
Huh.
man. He's a beast, bro. But I agree with you ultimately. I think he gets his championship back and we see him at the top of the hill. Although you said it in some part of your rant that like there is no bigger fight in this division than the Izzy fight, regardless of championship.
Yeah, no doubt. This
It,
guy's the biggest middleweight right now.
he
It's
is.
a come.
He is, bro. And I hope he gets his belt back.
Cherish him now, man.
That's
Cherish him
real
now. He's
shit.
35 years old, man.
We
You
don't have him
forget,
for much
man.
longer.
Yeah, he's 35, man. He's not getting any younger. So cherish these fights, man. I know he's had some slip ups here and there, but all in all, this man has had some of the most exciting fights in the world, man. Like, I still look back, man. Like this
I'm
resume
not
is
one
just
of them.
crazy.
I'm not one of them.
Not one of them, baby. Not one of them.
He does have some awesome fights, bro. He does. And the
Some of the
question
best
mark
fights
kick,
ever.
bro. The question mark kick of Izzy's is so sweet, bro.
What's your favorite Izzy fight of all time?
All time? Ooh, I kind of gotta take a look at this resume.
All time, man. It can be like favorite. It can even be like favorite moment.
Ooh,
Anything
okay.
like all time favorite fight.
All
Honestly,
right.
for me, it's when he became champion. I mean, I feel like that's the best fight. You could even argue for Kevin Gastelum, but honestly,
I should have
he
asked
beat
you.
Rob
I
when
shouldn't
he
have even
knocked
thought
Rob
of my
Whittaker out.
answer. I should have just asked you.
Yeah, no.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but when he knocked Rob Whittaker out for the first time, like that was just a legendary night, man. Like years. Like
Yeah,
this
that was
man has talked about that for years. Like, I'm gonna be a UFC champion one day. Man was in the stands watching John Jones become a UFC champion, and then he became one. Like, that's such a legendary story, man. So that moment when he became champion was definitely my favorite one for sure.
Yeah, and then the walkout to that one was so cool and doing them
Electric, the
cartwheels.
cockiness. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he knew what he was about to do, and then the combination was so sweet. Caught Rob perfectly on the chin in front of, I think, to date the biggest. Like, I don't think there's ever been more people in a UFC event than that night.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's big,
But
man. It was big for New Zealand.
my favorite Izzy fight was Izzy versus Yoel.
I knew I shouldn't even fucking ask you.
Don't ask me that.
All right, man. What's your prediction? What's your real prediction? Don't none of this flying triangle bullshit.
Yeah, I think Izzy wins by decision.
Wow, decision.
Yeah, I
No
think
knockout. No knockout.
Nah, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. If there is a finish, I think the most realistic finish is Izzy by knockout, but I think it goes the distance. I think DDP is really good, bro. As much as we want to shit and hate, I think he has every level of martial arts at a really high level, and then
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm excited to see how we test Izzy in the wrestling when he backs him up against the cage. What's Izzy's response? And hopefully he throws up that flying triangle.
Do you remember when Izzy said he wanted to fight Dricus in Africa? And Dana just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Africa?
Yeah. Imagine.
Like, are you serious? Dude, Africa would be insane. I don't think Dana realizes, like, this fight would have been honestly, it's fine. Like the fight is fine, but in Africa, this would have been insane. Like, I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Or Nigeria.
Anywhere, bro. Anywhere on the continent would be so crazy.
China. South Africa.
Yeah.
Anywhere. It would have been.
I think Dana said mad times that he, like, at some point of his career, he wants to make a UFC card in Africa happen. But this would have been the biggest possible. Like, it would have been nuts if this happened. But who knows?
Yeah. No, it's fine. It'll be in Australia. 15,000 people in attendance, so it's good.
Perth.
It's a lot of people.
It's a fun
night. A lot of fucking people.
Yeah, bro. And this card, honestly, is like it's a pretty entertaining card. Coleman, are you good with the main event? You want to keep going, Izzy?
No, we good. We good.
We're good.
Stroke show is crazy.
It's crazy.
All right, bro.
Nah, I'm just teasing. We have our favorites, bro, and I respect it. Izzy's definitely one of them guys that like that should be your favorite. If anybody, it's Izzy. All right.
Can't wait till we talk about somebody who's not that guy on this card.
Ah, stop it. I know where you're going with that, and you're
gonna let me.
You're gonna let me have my stroke show in a few minutes.
Another Aussie.
before then, the co-main. I think one of the funnest fights that could have been made in the flyweight division has been made, and it is made, and it's happening on this card this Saturday, bro. Kai Kara's fighting Steve Ercegg. And a star was kind of born with Steve Ercegg in his last fight, no? Like now the guy's like a legit contender and like top tier. Like whoever wins this fight, you can make a case is fighting for the strap next.
The number 9, by the way.
He's number 9.
The number 9 guy. I don't know, man. I think back to that Pantoja fight.
Star
in
was
the end
born.
there. In the end of that fight, man, why?
Why what?
Just mistakes. Mistakes were made against Pantoja.
Yeah.
Cost him a belt.
Yeah. I mean,
Man would have been one of the luckiest men on the planet. He was one of the luckiest men on the planet that day fighting for a championship belt. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But now he's getting another opportunity. He can't fuck this up. He cannot fuck this up. This is Kai Kara we're talking about. Like the top dog right now in this division before the belt. Like this is the guy to be if he wants that opportunity again. And he knows that. Like he knows this is the biggest stage for him possible to, another Aussie, which I completely forgot he's from Australia. But this is huge, man. This is such a good fight, honestly, because both these guys are exciting. Both these guys are, hard-hitting guys, good grapplers, just kind of good all-around guys. But Kai Kara is fighting for much more here. Like, this is a number 9 guy. Like, he's probably looking at him like...
Ercegg is 7 right now.
Sorry. He's 7?
Yeah, Ercegg is number 7. Continue, though. Sorry. I just wanted to fact check. I hate to be that guy, but you know how the internet is.
It's all good. I understand. He was number 9 at one point, though.
I'm sure, bro. They like fished him out of like 20 whenever they pulled him into the title fight.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't even know my point. You cut me off.
I'm so sorry, dog. I just didn't want to feed some misinformation out there. He is number 7. You were talking about how it's a big moment for Kai Kara and he cannot lose against the number 7th ranked guy. That was your point. I'm just trying to get you back on it.
Yeah. I lost my thought.
Gone, huh? It's one of those.
It's just
gone. Are you one of those guys? Do you just lose shit like that?
You just took it all out of me, man.
I tend to do that. My bad.
Pause.
What you mean? I'm a breath taker.
Just pause, bro.
Just pause.
No diddy on that one, buddy. No diddy on that one.
Kai Kara, bro. What a big moment for like both of these guys too. Like again, if they win spectacularly, if Kai hits him with some shit and puts Ercegg to sleep, could you sell somebody on a Kai Kara Pantoja fight next?
No.
No? Why not? Not a Kai Kara guy?
He's not ready yet.
Kai Kara? This guy's fought like 40 times, bro. When is it? When do you think?
He's not ready, bro. He's not ready, dude. He just lost to some random dude last fight. It's not ready, bro. It's not ready, bro. What do you want me to say? And before that, he lost to Brandon Moreno. He got knocked out. He's not ready, dude.
Oh, that was a sweet body kick.
It's not ready, bro.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't know. I like Kai. I feel like he is elite, but it's
bro,
like
he lost to Elmir Abazi 3, Brandon Moreno 2. Are you kidding, bro? Come on, have some respect, bro.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
This is supposed to be the guy, and you think he's just fighting for a belt after beating Steve Ercegg? Like, come on, bro.
Who just fought for the belt?
No offense to Steve Ercegg, but come on, like they just fished this guy out of the sea. You just said it yourself.
Yeah, last fight, but now he's like a legit guy. I said his star was born, bro. Now he's like a legit contender here.
Ercegg might be a better grappler than this guy. Honestly, what he was doing at Pantoja was kind of scary.
Yeah, he's definitely the better grappler.
The shit he was doing at Pantoja was a little scary. But honestly, that last minute of that last fight he had with him makes me question his decision making. So poor decision making by the guy overall. But I think that Kai Kara is the more experienced fighter. We can definitely agree on that. I will say though, he's a great 5-round fighter for his first 5-round fight too.
Ercegg.
That was a great, great first 5-round performance. I didn't think he'd be able to stand in there with Pantoja. Kai Kara has a little bit more output, I feel like, than both of those guys. So we'll see how that plays out in the fight. But Kai Kara is scary too, man. He can submit guys. He can knock you out. Like you said, I know you're predicting a knockout for Kai Kara. So I think I'm going the same way, man. I think he's going to knock Steve Ercegg out. I think he's done. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. He's definitely crafty with the strikes and the kicks. He can definitely hit him with some shit. That puts Ercegg in a different dimension. But I don't know, man. Ercegg showed in his last fight that he's like all around as well. He can grapple. He can dance on the feet. He can, once it hits the ground, he knows what he's doing. I don't think the UFC, I know I did say they fished him out of the sea, but I don't think they did. They definitely knew what they were doing with him. And they like I said, a star was born in that fight, and now he's in another fun matchup. It looks like you're like staring through something, not even at something. Looks like you're like melting a hole through your screen.
I'm looking at you.
I got Kai Kara as well. I think he's he can definitely mix it up a little more. If there is a finish, I'm taking Kai Kara, but I think it's probably going to be a decision. Ercegg's good, bro. Ercegg's good.
Yeah,
I'm going Kai
he's
Kara.
Good. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ercegg won on a decision, but I think Kai Kara can get him out. I think he can. Kai Kara is too powerful, man. Like he hits like a truck for these fucking flyweights, man. Like it's not even fair. But I'm gonna go Kai Kara as well. I'm gonna go knockout.
The third fight on the main card. There we go. Let's do it. Lock it in. You're real precise on these picks today. You got the second round Izzy, third round Kai Kara. Let's see who you got in this one. I'm assuming Dan Hooker, but we shall see.
I guess second or third round for Izzy.
For Izzy,
get it right.
All right,
get that right. Fault.
It's a range. It's a range game. All right, and the third fight of the night on the main card, I should say, one of the more entertaining matchups on the card. I think just because Dan Hooker's in it, and that dude always makes for a banger of a fight. The match with Mateusz. Is it the funnest stylistical matchup? Nah, Mateusz is a motherfucker, bro. That's not. I don't know, like the matchmaking decision, or like if I'm Dan Hooker, why I accept this fight. It's probably one of those things where it's like, I want to fight on that Perth card. Give me anybody who would sign that paper. And here comes Mateusz, man. Stylistically, I think it's a horrible matchup for Dan.
Awful. Absolutely awful, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Like Mateusz can make this just like I'm going to shoot 25 times this fight, and we're going to make this a grappling fight, whether you like this or not. Sort of deal.
And he doesn't have to grapple if he doesn't want to. He's fought better strikers. He's fought strikers that were like demonic, like some of the best strikers in this division. Like he took Jalen Turner on his heels. Like this guy knocked out Rafael Fiziev. Like he can fucking stand and bang. Don't sleep on him, man. Like I would not be surprised if Dan gets knocked out this fight. I'm beyond.
Oh shit.
I'm not going Dan Hooker in this matchup, no matter what, just because Mateusz is just a fucking animal when it comes to the wrestling. Like this guy is relentless. He can get 5 to 6 takedowns per fight easily, like on any of these guys. Only guy he's really struggled with, I would say, the only guy he's ever really struggled with, I feel like, is another grappler, with a strong grappler in Beneil, who really paced him and took him to another level. But when all these other guys, man, who are just not really that grappling heavy, like, I mean, you can even say Armand too, which was a pretty grappling heavy fight as well. Took him down to the nail as well. But dude, this guy can do it all, and that has to be fucking scary for Dan. But Dan likes this kind of shit. Like he likes fighting guys who are just animals and guys who are just, gonna take him to another level and challenge him. But I don't really think this is I don't know. It's not really a challenge for Dan in a sense, because like I just don't see him winning this fight, man. Like I know Dan is good, and I really don't like to count him out most of the time, but Mateusz is just on a mission, man. Like, so his last 3 fights alone, man. Like Jalen Turner, Rafael Fiziev, Rafael Adesanya. I don't really count Rafael Adesanya too much. He's a little bit older, but this guy is on a streak right now, and Dan is in for a rude awakening. And honestly, I don't know whether to go with a submission or a knockout, but I'm leaning towards a knockout from Mateusz, to be honest. I'm leaning more towards a knockout.
Round?
I'm gonna go round 2. I'm gonna go round 2 on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go round 2 on this one. I don't think this goes the full fight. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a tough matchup for Dan. I agree with the pick as well. I'm also going Cameron. I don't like the matchup for Dan one bit, bro.
No,
I don't like it. I mean, Dan, again, he's gonna make for an entertaining fight, but then Mateusz is such a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I don't know if it'll be. I hope it's not a finish though. Dan is gonna die before he gives up, so that finish might be brutal, unless it's a submission. You know, then he might tap. But
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, he probably won't get slumped to sleep. But it's all in the plan of cards. Josh said second. I'm saying second as well. Yeah, I think I think it's a finish in this one. If there's anyone at like the top 3 to be like finished, the hometown guy getting to sleep.
Yeah, it would be this one.
Right.
Yeah. I wish they would go for 3 for 3, but I just don't see it happening, man.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening on this one, but
I will tell you who will make the 3 for 3 an option for this Aussie crowd. The return of my boy. And they finally matched him up with a striker, which is like, we don't want him to fight for a world title. Just give him fun fights. This is the type of matchups we want. Rosenstrike fucking sucks. And I think it's an awesome fight for Ty. Short story short, I'm not going to rant on and on about this, although I would love to do a stroke fest for Ty. I'll save that for the following episode on the victory lap. I'm going Ty, bro. I think he's going to go out there, slug it for a first round. Rosenstrike's going to try to shoot, and then boom, knock his head off, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That's how it goes down on Saturday. Tai Tuivasa by KO. And he's plus money. There's plus money.
Yeah, just
come on, bro. Come on. You know I'm all in on that pick, bro. You know the return plus money. Come on. Off 3 losses. Go ahead.
Yeah, these are 2 bums fighting. Let's be honest.
Say it. Who you got?
These are 2 bums fighting. I'm going Yair, man. I'm going Rosenstrike. I have to, man. I have to go with Rosenstrike just because you're going Ty. I have to.
Fair. I do it all the time. You're a dickhead, but it's a fair play. Opening up the main card.
Oh, dang.
Opening up the main card, we talk about return. Li Jingliang's return, bro. It felt like 2 years ago. The star of Li Jingliang was just growing by like this. Anything he did, bro, was just going viral. He could just wear a suit. He could just say hi. He could just be in a trading clip. And all we would talk about is this guy. And then he like disappeared. I was doing a little research. I think he had a really bad neck injury that had him out for a while. So I'm the meat's calling. Just kidding. I'm glad.
What? What?
I'm glad he was able to recover successfully, though. Like neck injuries, that got to be the worst kind of thing. Neck, back, that's all like attached to everything and how we orchestrate. So I'm glad he's back, able to compete. A dog in this one against the Carlos Prates. What do you think of the matchup?
Going with my boy Leach.
Let's go.
My boy Leach. Yeah, I'm so happy to see Jing Liang Lee. I'm so happy to see him back, man. He was like you said too, he was like one of the more exciting guys 3 years ago. And yeah, that injury was unfortunate, and I'm glad he took as much time off as he needed from that. I've heard he's been back for a little bit. He still took a little bit more time off just to kind of make sure he was good and ready to go and fight. So I'm excited to see him come back and put on a good fight, man. He's fighting a guy I never really heard of this guy, but he's got a pretty extensive resume on here of knockouts. So, but the Leech, he's seen it all, man. He'll be fine. This guy doesn't get knocked out. He's got that neck of steel now.
Yeah,
That they
amen.
put those metal rods in that neck. He's not
Mm.
he's not dealing with anything he hasn't seen before. I'm going with the Leech, my boy from China. I'm
Let's
excited.
go.
I'm so pumped to see him, man. Honestly, I'm
Let's
so
go.
pumped.
Let's go. I agree 100%. I hope we're like this is just the beginning of getting the Leech back on track and back en route
Yeah.
to some big fights, some plus money. You think you got throwing a little cheddar in there?
I mean, just because of the time off, I feel like people would be going with
Mm,
his opponent, but his opponent's tough. Can knock him out, or I don't think he will knock him out, but he's got an extensive resume of knockouts, so I think that's
yeah,
why people would typically
yeah,
go with him. But I don't know. I
yeah.
think the Leech will be back. He'll get himself back on track with a
Go,
knockout here. I'm
go.
calling for one. Round one
Oh
knockout for my
shit.
boy.
Oh shit. I
Round
don't.
one.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. I'll
Just my
stake that
fun
as
pick.
well.
Just my fun pick of the card. I don't know how this fight's gonna go,
Yeah.
but I'm going Lee.
Yeah, his opponent, bro. I remember watching his last fight. Like the dude's limbs just look like it looks like he doesn't
Yeah.
belong in the weight class. It looks like he should be probably, I don't know, like a middleweight or a light heavy. Just give him some more. He's from Brazil, so give him some more. What do they eat out there? Some.
But then Lee doesn't look like he belongs in here too. It's fucking humongous.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, I see that go in the distance. To be honest, I think both guys are tough. Tough,
Yeah.
tough bastards. A lot of names on this undercard, the prelims. Jack Jenkins is a minus 22,000. That's insane. Herbert Jones somehow just cannot be more. He's an all-time underdog in this one. Love to see
Yeah.
it. Any other names on this card, prelims and early prelims that you're excited to tune in to watch?
I still like Casey O'Neill. I know she's
King
had
Casey.
I know she's had a tough two last fights, but she fought Jennifer Mai and Ariane Lipsky, like two tough grapplers. Like, eventually she was going to get some harder opponents. But I still like her, man. I think she's great. She's still top 15, which is good. She at least still has a ranking here. I like her. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's a great fighter. She just had some slip ups, I feel like, and I feel like she'll be better in this one. Definitely a tough opponent too. Luana Santos, Brazilian, tough grappler, young. He's got good hands, is quick. So should be a good fight. But
Yeah.
I'm going Casey. I like Casey a lot.
Oh yeah, I agree. She's only 26, bro. So like a
Yeah.
few stumbles along the road won't hurt at this early in her
Although I
stage. It'll definitely help.
although I think this girl is younger though. Let me
This those Santos
Yeah,
chick.
this was the girl actually that knocked. Remember Juliana Miller? She was the girl that won the Contender Series along with Usman's brother.
Yeah, I do
The
remember
really
that.
tall flyweight.
Knocked
Never
her out.
heard from that girl. Yeah, knocked her out. Never heard from
Oh
Juliana.
wow, she is younger. She's 24.
Yeah, she's 24, so she's really tough too. But
She's kind
um,
of bad.
I'm going Casey.
Talking about you. Yeah, I'm also going Casey. This is definitely a redemption story at home. She's definitely gonna go crazy and try to bring it home. Let's go, man. I'm excited for the Perth card. Usually those are like wicked entertaining. The crowd is usually insane. So I'm excited for the pups. Hopefully they get a lot of victories for their hometown guys. Johnny Walker's little brother's on this card. We failed to mention. It's pretty crazy to see the resemblance and just like, yeah, I'm looking at his UFC picture and the guy looks like a character as if you're picking him in like a video game. Like a Ultimate Fighter, Mortal Kombat or whatever you kids be playing. Also happening this weekend, Craig Jones Jiu-Jitsu Invitational. Some of the best grapplers on planet Earth will be competing. There's two weight classes. It's pretty remarkable. I don't know. I've heard Craig Jones. I've seen him, obviously in Alex's corner and in that preparation. I knew like he existed. But like the past 2 weeks, seeing him on other podcasts, hearing him talk, the dude's fucking hilarious. And then like his team's YouTube channel, the B Team, is insanely entertaining. It's like there's so many characters in that gym, and they are like 5 of the top 30 like jujitsu practitioners in the world. So all of these guys are competing at this $1 million tournament, and they're training together every day. They're likely going to face each other this Saturday. It's so insane to think about. But then there's like 15 other teams that same thing applies to, where everybody's wicked good and insanely entertaining to watch, but then might find each other competing for the $1 million bracket to their teammate. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff, especially when thinking about that other jujitsu tournaments only pay winner like 10,000 or
Yeah.
5,000. Like it's really slim in terms of financial reward. It's more about I was a world champion in this IBJJF or the other ones that are that are pretty coveted versus this first ever Craig Jones Invitational. You win, you get a milli, bro. That's like life-changing money. You got to
Yeah.
win 100 jujitsu tournaments before you see even like a percentage of that. And Craig Jones is fighting a woman. He's fighting a legit chick. That's crazy. That's crazy to say. And now the chick is an anomaly. Like she's probably one of one on planet Earth. There's not another one like her. Like a 20-something time jiu-jitsu world champion, as coveted as any human being could be in any individual sport. And that's who Craig Jones is fighting. And not to mention the tail of the tape, he's like 5'10, 5'11. She's like 6'5, 250. He's like 190. It's pretty remarkable, bro. And then, if I haven't sold this enough, Mackenzie Durham's on the card.
Yeah.
She's also competing in the women's super fight against Fiona Davis, who I also went down during my rabbit hole, like discovered who she was, watching some of her. Bro, insane. The level of like some of the top jiu-jitsu people, just seeing their level is so mind-blowing. And how they roll and what they do, it's remarkable stuff. So this Saturday, I'll definitely be watching. I know I just said a lot. Do you want to say anything about the Invitational? You gonna be tuned in?
So I won't be tuning in, but I will say I'm kidding.
Great.
So who wins a minute? So what if Chris, whatever his name, what if he wins? Does he just keep the money?
Oh, all right. So there's 2 weight classes, and then there's 2 super fights. The 2 super fights are not competing for the $1 billion. Those are just like they'll get their individual purses.
Billion.
Yeah, probably with all the money that's coming in, they might see a Billy for those 2 fights. But then the other 2, there's like a above 80 kilos and a below 80 kilos, which is how they did their weight classes, and it's fucking awesome, no?
So 2 weight classes are winning $1 million.
Yeah, so it's $2 million
Interesting.
handed to the individual winners, and then if you compete, you get 5K. So like you show up, you lose, you still get your 5 bands. You show up, you lose second round, you get your 5 bands. No other tournament does that, bro. They pay you to show up and compete. Nobody does that.
Where's this guy getting the money from?
That's the
I guess time will tell, maybe.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Any theories, conspiracies you've been seeing?
Dana?
Nah.
Might be Dana.
Doing that shit, bro. Dana would want to do it on pay-per-view in his Apex Center. You know what I'm saying? Dana wouldn't. This got like Saudi Arabia money written all over it. Like
it could be Conor McGregor.
It could. Conor feels like the guy that would want to have his face all over the front of it.
Oh, I mean, he like owns BKFC now, so it's like
Burger King.
Nah, bro.
Nah, I agree. Yeah, that's true. What if he's investing in another one? He's just like, I don't want to be a silent owner, though. You think he's one of them? I don't. He doesn't strike me as that.
Yeah, it does seem like he wants his face on everything. It probably isn't Conor McGregor.
Turkey, bro.
I don't know. It could be Steve Ercegg. Could be your boy.
You know, it's a good theory, bro. It might be Ercegg saving jiu-jitsu himself.
Ryan Hall?
Could be. Joe Rogan? Rogan
Devin
got him.
Welch.
There it is. All right, that's the final one. All right. If you made it to this part of the podcast, thank you so much for the support. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, share it with a buddy. If you're on any other platform, rate it 5 stars. Also share it with a buddy. And then after that, go ahead over to hppshop.com. Get you some Combat Hearts shirt merch. Josh got his on the way. You should get yours on the way very soon. And we'll catch you in a few days after Tai Tuivasa comes back with a big victory.
Yeah, because we're all watching for him, buddy.